First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Appreciate you all being here. As always, I want to remind you that we are broadcasting, streaming, if you will, live on YouTube, on Facebook, on our apps, and of course on our website. So lots of different places you can catch us and find us, and you can catch all of our previous interviews and segments on the YouTube channel for Fox 12 Oregon. But today we're talking about an event that's coming up here in just a little while, and that is the Flaming Lips are in town, and they're going to be performing a show at Pioneer Courthouse Square later on today, and that's part of a concert series that's been going on there all summer. But there is a special event happening before that, and it has to do with a listening party for their Zyrika album from 1997. That is a very unique setup, and it's something that I was really excited to talk about and get in depth on how exactly it works. It's essentially listening to 4 different copies of the album at the same time to get the full experience. There's a lot to unpack there. That's all going to be at the Heathman Hotel, and we have the director of lifestyle from the Heathman, Matt Iman, joining us right now. Matt, appreciate you being here. First off, I always like to congratulate a really nice backdrop. You know, if somebody's when somebody's got the good setup there, that looks excellent and perfect for what we're talking about when it comes to music. So I guess to start off, can you tell us about this event that's going to be taking place there at the Heathman and really what goes into it?
Yeah, certainly. Well, first of all, Greg, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. The event tonight is going to be pretty great. The Flaming Lips, as you said, are playing down the street at Pioneer Courthouse Square, and at the Heathman Hotel, we're really trying hard to make sure that we are creating opportunities to bring the arts here into the city, or into the hotel, rather, and art fans. So for this, what we're doing is a pre-concert listening party for, as you mentioned, a 1997 project called Zyrika. Now, this is, as you said, 4 albums that are played at the same time. It started off on CD players, and fans would have listening parties. They would oftentimes go to parking garages where they would have their 4-car stereos playing at the same time. The thing is, you have to sync all 4 records up at the exact same time to get the best version of the song that you can. One album has the vocals, another has the guitar, another has the drums, and so forth. So it's pretty impossible to listen to unless you have an elaborate setup like we've created here. We're excited to share it with the fans. We're excited to share the hotel with the fans.
That is pretty wild. So 4 different albums, each one is different. Because I was wondering how that actually works. So each one has a different track on it.
Yes.
So guitars, vocals, drums, etc. So setting this up, that's got to be, I mean, especially back then when this was first coming out on CDs, that sounds like a near impossible task to be able to coordinate 4 different CD players in, you know, like you mentioned, a parking garage trying to do this. But instead, you've got 4 different records, 4 different album versions of it. That we could see there that are all lined up together. How does that work as far as placing the speakers? Do they have to be in a certain way? Let's talk about the actual physics of this just for a second, and then I want to talk about the event itself.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, I think it was probably easier in the 90s with CD players to do this.
So?
Yeah, this is a little more challenging of a task. But yeah, we have the 4 turntables and the whole setup, basically enough to have 4 different DJs playing right now at the same time if we wanted to. But we're fortunate here at the Heathman Hotel to have a beautiful, large 2-level library and atrium mezzanine area that we've posted the speakers up in the various corners. There's some wires hanging everywhere. We think that's kind of in the spirit of the Flaming Lips right there. But what we're doing is at 4:30 today, and then again at 5:15, we are going to have 4 people just all drop the needles at the same time. The interesting thing about this project is that it's impossible to completely sync up. So the Discord is built into the tracks, as is the spatial acoustics. You know, if you're standing in one corner of our space, you're going to be hearing the vocals more prominently. If you walk across the library, you're going to be hearing the drums. So we're encouraging guests to walk around, just enjoy it. We're actually going to play it twice so that we can take the records, put them on the different turntables, and then it'll be a completely different experience. The cool thing about Zyrika is that every single listening experience is a completely new experience.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be because, like you mentioned, nothing's exactly going to line up. Are you starting each one of these record players yourself, or do you have like a master button that starts them all?
No, I think the first time we're going to have myself and some of my colleagues here at the Heathman do it. But the second time, I want to incorporate some fans who want to be able to drop one of the needles themselves. And because it's a record, you have to do it twice. You have to flip it and play the B-side. So there's going to be opportunities for a few people to get their hands on this project.
Well, and I would imagine too, the Flaming Lips have such a devoted fan base. I would say if you're a
Indeed.
Flaming Lips fan, you are a hardcore Flaming Lips fan, usually is what it is.
Absolutely.
And so this is probably going to be something that I would imagine a lot of people who are A, fans of them, but also fans of music that are going to be showing up for this that want to experience what that's like, because a lot of people probably haven't had the 4 records going at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very rare occurrence, and I'm a pretty diehard Flaming Lips fan myself. And unfortunately, I was not able to get tickets in time. They sold like that. So this is the next best thing. This is I threw my own little party, and the Heathman is excited to get music fans in here. We're just a couple blocks away from where the venue, and so it's going to be a pretty good pregame.
Nice. And how did you find out about this? Did the Flaming Lips contact you? Actually, I mean, how did the event even get started here?
No, they did not contact me, but they did like my Instagram post, so I'm hoping they show up about it.
Nice.
No, how did I hear about this? Going to college in the early 2000s. It was I was in one of those parking garages doing it myself, and it seemed like a really special thing to bring back for the community.
Nice. So this really is a fan-driven event because you are a fan and you decided you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And you just happen to work at a hotel.
Yeah. I'm fortunate here at the Heathman. I'm the director of lifestyle. My role is to create opportunities to bring the community together, both our hotel guests as well as Portland residents. And this is a perfect opportunity for that. We've had a lot of guests that weren't expecting this, that are very excited to learn this is happening today. And we have a lot of people coming in from all across the metro that are going to be enjoying this experience.
Well, let's talk about the hotel for a second as well. Heathman downtown, kind of one of those iconic hotels for downtown Portland. And, you mentioned bringing the arts in and incorporating that in more. Can you talk about some of those different opportunities that you have there for artists and incorporating that part of the city into the hotel?
Oh, certainly. Yeah. Well, the Heathman's been around for almost 100 years, and it's always had an arts reputation. We have very strong relationships with the Schnitz, with the whole Portland Five, really, as well as literary arts, and we're right next to the Portland Art Museum. So art is really in our DNA as a hotel. Now, we've been doing a little bit of changes around here and welcoming in a new team that our goal is to expand who gets to sit at the table. What arts organizations are we working with? We recently had a performance by Renegade Opera. We are working on a artist in residence program. We are doing live music on Mondays, DJs on Thursdays, and we're just really trying to bring some extra life to the space in a way that's modern, but also honors the history of the hotel.
And like you mentioned, 100 years there for the hotel itself. So a lot of changes over those years, and a lot of changes just in the city of Portland in general. What are some of the? I'm not sure how long you've been there at the Heathman, but I was just kind of curious. What are some of the changes you've seen here, just say in the last year, when it comes to this?
Oh goodness. Well, no, I've only been at the Heathman for a few months now. I lived in Portland and downtown Portland for years and years. So I've seen a lot of changes throughout the years. And mostly what I've seen recently is just a real rebirth, which is really exciting to share with people. I love living so close to the park blocks and working so close, walking to the farmer's market twice a week. And then surely from downtown space, like block by block, storefront by storefront, Portland is rebounding. And I think that I feel really fortunate to be able to work for an institution in the city that is being part of that. And also being able to give a space for other people that are really passionate about what they're doing and creating what Portland will be in the future.
Well, I think you definitely have a unique perspective living downtown, and working at the Heathman. So that's a combination there that not a lot of people would have, as far as, the things and the changes that you've seen, and all that's been covered. So I think that's really fascinating to know that you're seeing things kind of starting back up, but then also, this art scene, incorporating that in. And would you say that you've seen more people hanging out downtown recently than previously?
Absolutely. I mean, part of that also is it's, been summer, so everyone's excited to get out and enjoy the nice weather. But yeah, there's a little bit more of a bustle to the things than there used to be. In our hotel itself, we see a lot of people coming in and just hanging out in our library or the mezzanine. Our restaurant, the Tavern, is getting more and more busy each day. People are rediscovering us as we put ourselves out there. But that speaks true to all of downtown. That Pioneer Courthouse Square is a vibrant space again. One of my favorite spots, just a couple blocks away, is Director Park, and seeing a lot of the activations that are happening there from the Wednesday West End activations that they're doing. Uh, people are the people that care about downtown are really putting their blood, sweat, and tears into celebrating downtown, and we're glad to be a part of that team.
You know, we actually spoke to Jordan Schnitzer about Director Park just last week, I think it was, you know,
Yes.
about some of the events that they're having there and incorporating the arts. And I asked him this question. I'm curious just to hear your answer. Why do you think the arts community is so important to the revitalization of downtown Portland?
That's a great question. I think that, first of all, the arts are just part of Portland's DNA as one of the primary things that people say about the city. And downtowns are the heartbeat of any community. So if the downtown is going to be reflective of Portland as a whole, the arts need to be reflected. Also, I think that the world's changed in the past few years, and downtown is never going to be what it used to be in terms of thousands and thousands and thousands of office workers and all of that. So rather than try and recreate that, let's foster opportunities to see what's next. And I know there's a lot of artists, there's a lot of performers, musicians, all of that that are eager to make their mark on the city. And what better place to do that than in the heart of it?
I think, and we can see some of the art right there, just on the walls that you have incorporated in there, as far as bringing that back into it.
Indeed.
What are some of the things that you're most looking forward to here coming up? Because obviously this experience is today, twice today. By the way, I want to remind everybody, and this is Tuesday, August 22nd, depending on when you're watching this, and you'll get those opportunities. But like you mentioned, you want to incorporate the arts in more. So what are some other events coming up and opportunities that people will have, either staying at the hotel or just living in Portland and coming down and experiencing this?
Yeah, certainly. Well, first of all, it's a great point that everything we do is open to the guests as well as the community. We really want to create those spaces for both. In terms of the arts, we're about to launch a Tuesday night craft club, which is an opportunity to bring in local makers and artists to instruct courses for guests. Everything from candle making to painting to flower arrangements, kintsugi. Lots of great things are happening in there. We have a lot of culinary initiatives coming out that I don't really want to say exactly what's happening yet. People should be excited.
You don't have to give a spoiler.
Big scoops, huh? But then I think one thing that Portland's really going to be excited about, and that also speaks to our passion for having one foot in history and one foot in modernization, is that we're bringing back the holiday tea. So I know that a lot of people think that when they think of the Heathmen, that's what they think of. Their traditions of coming with their grandparents when they were kids, and now they're bringing their grandparents, or special events. But holiday tea is going to be a really spectacular opportunity to reintroduce ourselves to the community.
Nice. So definitely some things to look forward to coming up then. Before we wrap up, I do want to go back to take a look at this again too, because shout out to our own Riley Blake, who shot the B-roll here. Excellent, excellent B-roll. But taking a look at how this is all set up, that looks really complicated. How long did it take you to actually put this all together?
Well, about 3 times as long as I thought it was going to. No, I am, I'm a lot of things, but I'm no means an audio equipment expert. So I was able to rely on some people we have here on staff that know a bit more than me, as well as a friend of mine and a local DJ who will actually be performing here Thursday night. And he came in with a little assistance. And then Pro Sound and Audio is who helped us pick out the equipment and so forth. So I had a lot of help. And that's just kind of how I do things around here, is come up with an idea that's a little bit bigger than me and figure out who can help me out with it.
Are these your records?
Yes, it is.
They are. So this is your personal collection that's being shared here.
Indeed.
Nice. Well, to remind everybody too, so if you're watching live right now, and again, we're live on a lot of different platforms, so thanks for tuning in. You can always drop in your comments as well, but give us again the times that this is going to be taking place.
Certainly. Well, we're encouraging people to come in starting at 4 and then lasting until as long as they want to stay, but until the show that starts at about 6:30. We're going to drop the needles the first time at 4:30, and then probably around 5:15, 5:20 the second time, which will be a wholly different experience because of us mixing up the order of the records.
Oh, I would be remiss too. I understand there's some cocktails involved in this.
Indeed, yeah, we have a couple different Flaming Lips themed cocktails. Our bar has a really fantastic milk punch program, which is an older method of creating really beautiful punches. We took two of ours and dressed them up a little bit to celebrate the Flaming Lips. The first is called the She Do Use Jelly. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but the Flaming Lips' probably most popular song is called She Don't Use Jelly. So mixing that up a little bit, it's a boba-centric cocktail. And then we also have a really cool one that's called What is the Light? And that, well, it glows. So that's who doesn't want to drink a glowing drink before they go to see the Flaming Lips?
Nice. And I know we've got some footage in there, so we'll share that as well of the cocktails. Well, Matt, I want to say thank you very much, for joining us to talk about this and really interesting perspectives to hear about, your viewpoint on downtown Portland and how the arts are being incorporated in, and really cool event happening today. And yeah, thanks for joining us. You have any other cool events coming up, feel free to reach out, and I'm definitely always down for a conversation.
Certainly. We'll have to have you come down and see for yourself sometime.
I love it. I definitely will. All right. Thanks so much, Matt.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. And thank you to everybody for joining in. So this is Fox 12 Now. We're live here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. That's what you see happening behind me. So there's people running around finding out about the news, sharing the news. And this is in between our regular newscasts, our regular television broadcast, and that's why you can always catch me here. We've got a lot happening today. So coming up at 1:30 p.m., we're going to switch gears. We're going to be talking about robotics. And you may have heard about a restaurant in Estacada that is using a robot server. We reported on that, I think, a couple of weeks ago. Well, we're going to get more in depth with the actual manufacturer of that robot from United Robotics Group and discuss the future of robots in our lives. Are they going to take over everything, or are they going to be very helpful? Well, probably a little bit of both. So we're going to be discussing that here at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, so you can join back in. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, just come right back there. If you're watching on our app, just stick around, and I'll be popping back on there at 1:30 p.m. But in the meantime, thank you everybody for joining us. Appreciate it very much. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.